So I'm going to record this. All right. So welcome to the first community hall at CrossFit Max. These are just going to be fun conversations that we're going to have with you guys. It's going to be a little bit more interactive as well. And the first one is just going to be talking about the CrossFit Open. All right. We have the Open starting in 13 days from recording this. And we're going to be doing the first Friday Night Lights here at CrossFit Max in 14 days from now, which is so freaking exciting. In exactly 14 days from now, we'll be wrapping up the uh, the first Friday Night Lights, which is epic. So today we're gonna have fun. Let me go into the presentation for today. Let me share my screen with you guys who are here. Desktop. Boom. Let me share this. I even put on my slide here to record this as a reminder because I knew I was definitely going to forget. All right. Can you guys all see this? Can you guys give me a thumbs up if you can see this? Awesome. Okay. So let's talk about the CrossFit Open here. Okay. And I absolutely love this photo because it's got the 5 p.m. girls. This was captured after, I think, the second workout. I think that's why Angie is holding her two fingers up like that. This was recorded after 25.2 last year. All right. And you can see how joyful and happy these ladies are after completing these workouts. And that's the sensation that everyone's going to have once you complete an open workout. All right. So key questions for you guys. All right. So, those of you guys who are here right now, I want you guys to answer this in the comment box. All right. So, are you signed up for the open? Yes or no? Shoot us in the message. I want to kind of shout you guys out at the same time here. All right. So, let me see. Let me see in the comments. Richard Morris said yes. Judy Zoo said yup. Roxanne and Jeremy are both signed up. Julie said not yet. Julie and Sylvain have definitely got to sign up. Val is signed up. She's going to be doing her very first open, which is pretty freaking exciting, along with a few others. Cassina is signed up. That's a double yes. Cassina has done this. I think this is Cassina's third open, I would imagine, which is pretty cool. So a lot of yeses. Only a couple people have said not yet, and I would imagine that some of the people listening to this, maybe recorded, haven't signed up for the open either. All right. So the next thing, let me click on here, is are you thinking about it right now? We're going to cover all of this today. So, are you not signed up for the open and are you thinking about it? And hopefully, after you hear this discussion, you're going to hopefully kind of change your mind or kind of understand why I think you guys should be signed up for this. All right. And then the next thing is if you've done it, so all my athletes that have said yes already, because I want this to be somewhat interactive after my kind of my spiel here and after my chat, I want you guys to think about something fun or a moment that you've had in the open. And at the end of this presentation, I would love to call on you and have you guys actually share that. Okay, it doesn't have to be long. It could be just a short little moment or a short little memory you have of your past experience. And I want other people to hear that. All right. So throughout this process, just think about maybe something that you would like to share, and I would love to choose a couple of you guys at least to answer this after. All right. So, what is the open? All right. Let me break this down in the most simple terms and where it comes from, the origin and everything. All right. And you can see Sandy doing this. This photo's from Sandy doing this workout last year. So the Open is the biggest global fitness event that is run by CrossFit headquarters. So it is not run by CrossFit Max. We are one affiliate out of about 15,000 CrossFit affiliates worldwide, right? So we're talking about there's hundreds and maybe even thousands of gyms in Germany, right? There's like so many in England. There's so many gyms in India, Brazil, Argentina, Australia, China, all of Canada, crazy amount in the US, right? There are 15,000 CrossFit affiliates worldwide. And what CrossFit headquarters does is they release 3 workouts over 3 weekends. They release it on Thursday afternoon. So they announce it via YouTube, a workout, and then the entire world and every affiliate has until Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern time to complete the workout, get it judged, and then get it submitted online. All right. So what the open is 3 workouts over 3 weekends. And essentially what they did is they created something for the CrossFit Games. Now, the CrossFit Games purpose is to find the fittest person in the world, right? The fittest male athlete, the fittest female athlete, and then the fittest team in the world, right? And then they have different age categories and things like that, all right? So, in order to make such a claim, to have the fittest person in the world show up and compete at the CrossFit Games, well, you have to have something that is open to the entire world to participate, right? So the open is the first stage, and the first stage of many to qualify to the CrossFit Games, to make it to the CrossFit Games, and then to find the fittest person in the world. All right. Now, when I say that, we are talking about 30 men and 30 women out of like 7 billion people that we have in the world, right? And of the CrossFit Open, there's about 400,000 people that sign up for the Open, all right? So when we're talking about finding 30 people, when we're talking about the CrossFit Open, we're talking about something that unifies all affiliates and all CrossFitters around the world together, right? The objective is not to find the fittest person in the world through the Open. The objective is to get as many people signed up and participating as possible to the Open so that eventually through many tiers like the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and then the CrossFit Games to find the fittest person in the world. All right. So in its background and where it comes from, this is what the CrossFit Open essentially is here. All right. Now, FAQs that we get all the time here, right? Because people think online competition, finding the fittest person in the world, it can be intimidating to put yourself on a leaderboard, right? So these are questions that we get asked all the time, and I'm going to answer them throughout this process here, throughout this presentation. All right. So the first one is, am I fit enough to do the Open? All right. The second one is, should I wait until next year to do the Open, right? Maybe when I'm fitter or I've done CrossFit for longer, et cetera, et cetera. All right. And then the third thing that I actually get often is, will I hurt myself, right? Will I push myself so hard that I'm going to hurt myself? All right. And we're going to cover all of these questions and hopefully I'm going to answer them as much as possible throughout this presentation. But if you're sitting in one of those categories, if you're at one and you're like, I'm not sure if I'm fit enough to do the Open, right? I'm not quite where I want to be or quite at a level of fitness that I'm happy to showcase, right? Or should I just get fitter this year and then do it next year, right? Or am I going to just push so hard, not listen to my body and hurt myself? If you're in one of those categories, then pay attention throughout this presentation. I'm going to hopefully answer it for you. All right. Now, in the Open, the cool thing and the way that they make it at a level where every person in the world can participate is that they've created divisions. All right. They've created divisions so that I could literally take a random person off the street. If I was just looking on Pierrefonds Boulevard outside through our big windows and I just spotted someone out there and I said, oh, you come over here. And I made them do one division, one area of this workout, they would be able to do it. All right. So the first thing they do, just like we kind of do in group classes, is there's an RX, right? If you guys don't know what RX means, RX is a prescription, right? It's the symbol you use for when you go see your doctor and they write a prescription for you, right? So RX just means what the workout is, and you're going to do the workout as prescribed, right? If it says deadlifts at 185 pounds, well, you're going to do deadlifts at 185 pounds. If it says you have to do 20 chest to bar pull ups, well, you're going to do 20 chest to bar because that's what the doctor has prescribed. In this case, this is what CrossFit headquarters has prescribed. All right. So there's the workout in itself, which is RX. Now, as we're building our fitness, maybe we don't quite have the capabilities yet to do the RX category. And that's totally fine. What they've done is they've created a scale division, right? And then what we do in groups here at CrossFit Max is we have the RX on the board and then we create scales for you guys, right? Instead of doing a pull up, you do a ring row. Instead of jumping on a box, you step on a box, right? Things like that, right? Instead of doing deadlifts at 185, you're just on your second week of doing CrossFit. Let's do deadlifts at 95 pounds, right? So they have a scaled workout for every open release, right? So there's the RX, there's the scaled, and then there's also the foundations category. And the foundation is really accessible to everyone, right? And this is where I could literally just take a stranger off the street, make them do the foundations category, and anyone can do the foundations category. All right. They make things very simple so that literally everyone can participate here. All right. There's also two other categories that we don't speak about often. There's the adaptive category. So it's really freaking cool if you have, like, let's just say a missing leg, right? Or you're paralyzed in your waist down, right? There's some really cool videos of some awesome people in wheelchairs doing freaking muscle ups and doing really cool cleans from the wheelchair to their actual shoulders. So there is the adaptive category that these athletes can still participate in as well, right? There's also the blind category, so for people who are blind, right? And things like that. All right. And then they also have the age category. So they have the teenager category, they have the 14, 15 category, and then the 16, 17 category. And then they have pretty much the usually the RXs from ages 18 all the way to 54. And then they have the 55 plus masters category. All right. So really, they do make this accessible for different divisions here. All right. And I want to see on my next slide here. Actually, I'm going to go back here. So just to fill you guys in on how this works here, anyone can do any workout, and you don't have to choose one and stick with it throughout the entire open. For example, if the first open workout you can do RX, that's awesome. You do RX. On the second open workout, if you know there's a movement in there that you physically cannot do yet, well, you just do the scaled. All right. So you can pick and choose between the three workouts which variation you want to do. All right. And the way the ranking system goes is that everyone who RXs is going to be on top of the leaderboard. Everyone who scales can only do as best as the bottom of the RX category, right? So it goes people who do RX get a better ranking, people who do scaled go under that, and then the people who do foundations go under that. All right. So what I want to do is I want to tell you guys a little bit about my personal experience without it sounding so crazy. And, maybe if you guys listen to the podcast, I've talked about how the open has changed my life completely. But I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my experience with the open. All right. So I kind of put a little joke here, but once upon a time when Coach B was just Brandon, right? This was pre-coaching. I had started CrossFit. And in that time of my life, I was going through a pretty rough patch, right? I had kind of broken off with the high school sweetheart that I had been together for nearly 5 years. I was going through a really, really dark time. I was in university. I hated it. I dropped out of university. I was completely lost. I didn't know what I wanted to do in my life. It was really the first time in my life that I had no idea what I was going to do. I was super depressed. I was hanging out with a different crowd than I was used to. I was really going through a hard time. I was drinking Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights. I started getting into some pretty heavy drugs at that time as well. I was in a dark place in life and I was lost essentially, right? And then I had started CrossFit like the summer of, while I was going through that really rough patch, I had, kind of quit university again, was partying my ass off, just really spending stupid amounts of money at the time and just doing everything you wouldn't want a 20-year-old to do at that time. And I had been doing CrossFit for about 3 months. I had joined in about like the November area. I think I did like a foundations, like a 1 month foundations course in October, started classes in November. So I had done like November, December, January, and then in February, the people I was working out with were like, yeah, like you have to do this open thing. And to give you guys like an exact timestamp, this was 2014, right? So the CrossFit Open, I believe the very first CrossFit Open had started in 2010. I believe this is the 16th CrossFit Open that we're about to start. And I believe it started in 2010. So the CrossFit Open was relatively new. There was only really 3 or 4 opens at that time. So the people were like, yeah, you got to come like Saturday morning, come to the gym. We're going to do this thing called the Open. You're going to compete. You're going to, showcase your fitness to the entire world. And I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, let's do it. Who cares? And my very first open workout was a workout where you had to do like ground to overhead, so like clean and jerks at a really, really light weight. It was I think it was 75 pounds for the boys and 55 pounds for the ladies, so it was really light. It was an AMRAP and you had double unders. And people have been telling me that the double unders were gonna be in the open, so I had like taken like 3 weeks to learn the double unders. So classic Brandon, on that Friday night, I had gone out, I had partied my ass off. I got home, I think at 4 o'clock in the morning, woke up 3 hours later to get to the gym and do the first open workout, 14.1. Not really knowing what to expect. I was still completely wasted doing that workout for sure. I was not sober at all. And I remember looking around. The gym was packed. There was like 10 people doing the workout. There was a crowd of like 30 people just cheering you on. I had a judge with me counting my repetitions, and I literally felt like it was an out of body experience where I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I had no real clue on like what I was really doing. And I'm just looking around and be like, why is everyone just like so deep into this? Like, why is everyone here on a Saturday? Why are there so many people here on a Saturday morning screaming and shouting for people to exercise and to go faster and to do better, right? And it was quite a powerful experience, that first one. I kind of just gone through it, felt all the things, kind of trained the whole, like the rest of the week. And then the second open came and I couldn't even do the second open because back then the open did not have multiple divisions. The open actually only had one division, which was RX. So there was overhead squats at 95 pounds. And at the time, 3 months into CrossFit, I couldn't even overhead squat like an empty bar. Like my mobility was god awful. I wish I could squat like Judy over here, but my squatting was terrible. My overhead positioning was awful. So I literally just didn't even do that. And if you actually look in the CrossFit Games application, because I didn't even do the second open workout, my score for 2014 actually doesn't even show up, which is kind of sucks. But because I didn't even do that open workout, I just got like DNF, like disqualified, I guess, did not finish. So I didn't do the second one. I did the third one. I did the fourth one, and I did the fifth one because there was 5 workouts at that time. And what I came out of that, I learned a lot from that here. All right. I felt something pretty unreal, and it was kind of a special thing for me. All right. And in those moments, I saw people cheer for me that I didn't even know. There's people that, normally I would work out at like 4 p.m. during the daytime at that time. And there were people that I at 9 a.m. classes, the noon classes. They used to call them the nooners. There was people from like the late night, 7 and 8 p.m. classes. There were coaches there that I didn't really get coached from that often. And just like everyone's cheering you on throughout that entire moment. And it really put like a big change in my life. And in that moment, I knew that I had to make some like pretty big life changes. I was going through a rough patch. I was depressed. I was covering it with, substances like drugs and alcohol. Um, Even my parents sat me down and be like, hey, like, this is not you. Like, what is going on right now? Right. And throughout those 5 weeks, I started to just fall more in love with this thing called CrossFit, right? Which hopefully, all of you guys have felt it just a little bit, or hopefully you guys have felt it a lot so far at CrossFit Max. But I started to feel more and more this like community, this impact of like, I don't know this person next to me, and they're pushing really hard, but in the middle of a really hard workout, they're cheering for me to go faster. And it was a pretty freaking cool moment because I was like, oh, this is a competition. But then I realized it's not a competition. This person next to me is doing the exact same thing. We're going to be entering our score, or this person over here finished their workout and they want me to do the very best they can. So they're yelling at me with like 10 seconds left to get my last repetition in, right? And it's quite a unique experience when you're around so many people that are trying to lift you up. And then I thought to myself, you know what? I want more of this shit in life. I want to be feeling this. And not only do I want to feel this, but I want to share this with as many people as possible. And that changed the course of my life, actually. And I know it sounds super dramatic to say, but those 5 weeks of going through that entire process made me feel something that I'd never felt before. And it made me feel purposeful, right? It made me feel super happy. Like the endorphins kicked in when I did something hard. I felt really good after. I had people around me that were encouraging me. I had coaches with me that wanted me to do really, really well. So it really changed my entire outlook on life. And, it was the starting point for what became me falling in love with CrossFit and me wanting to coach CrossFit. So, all that to be said, that might not happen to each of you guys going through this, but I do want to share what the CrossFit Open brought me. And I do want to share that, like, it really has a really impactful feeling on each person when you're in the middle of a workout and you're suffering and the person next to you is suffering, and then you just like make eye contact at them, and then you kind of just nod at them and you're like, let's do this, like that's a very cool moment, and it is very, very impactful. So I hope that little story helps you guys understand like where my passion for CrossFit had come from and how the open really did change my life moving forward here. All right. So all that to be said, how are we going to be running our Friday night lights here? All right. Thank you, Cassina. She said, what a nice story. I can totally relate to that. Awesome. Cassina, I want to hear your fun story after, okay? So we're going to get to you after. So Friday night lights. I want to talk to you guys about how we run it here at CrossFit Max. Just need a quick sip here. So Friday night lights, the way CrossFit does this is they announce it, the workout. CrossFit HQ announces it on YouTube on Thursday afternoon. Okay, it's really cool. They have a really cool spectacle. They usually have higher level CrossFit Games athletes. I think for 26.1, they're actually going to have the champion, the guy who won the CrossFit Games last year, do this with a couple other CrossFit Games athletes. So it's kind of cool. They announce it, and then those guys literally have to do it not knowing what the workout was 5 minutes prior to that. All right. And these guys are freaking fit. All right. So it kind of puts it into perspective how hard this workout might be. But that being said, we see the workout on Thursday afternoon. On Friday nights, we run the workout here. All right. Now, some of you guys have done this. Some of you guys have not. And you guys are going to get your first experience in a Friday night, which I can't freaking wait. All right. But essentially, the way we run it is there's going to be waves of people that are going to go. All right. So we're going to have about 5 people going at a time on the Friday night. All right. And again, we don't know what the workout is. So the workout might be a 12-minute AMRAP, or the workout might be a 20-minute workout. And that's going to dictate the times of the waves. And again, it's going to be very quick. We're only going to find out Thursday. So it takes a lot of reorganization. It takes a lot of being proactive rather than reactive. So we're going to have a wave time setup, and it's going to look something like this, where the first wave is going to go at 4:15, the second wave at 4:30, 4:45, 5, 5:15, 5:30, 5:45, etc. throughout the night. And you guys are just going to sign up. And again, only about 5 people are going to be able to sign up to each wave. Again, depending on what the workout is. All right. So not only is the time kind of set and might need to be modified, but the equipment, we might not have enough equipment to have more than 5 people, right? So, for example, if they put a rowing machine in there, which is the only cardio machine that we've ever seen in a CrossFit Open, then we can only have 5 people going at a time, right? If they put like one dumbbell, well, then we could have 6 or 7 people going at a time here. All right. So that's how the Friday nights is going to work. You're going to sign up for a wave this year. In the past, we've done it via like actual piece of paper and pen. This year, I'm able to set it up on Wodify, I believe. Hopefully, crossing my fingers. I'm pretty sure I can do this on Wodify without it counting as one of your sessions. Meaning, if you have a 2 times a week or 3 times a week membership, it's not going to count. You're going to be able to go in, sign up, and it won't count as one of your sessions. So that's how I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to plug it in 15-minute increments, and you guys are going to sign up like that. All right. And then you are going to show up at least 30 minutes before. So it's not a group setting here. It's not a group class. You're not going to have a coach with you running. I'm going to have an entire preparation whiteboard for you. It's going to be on the turf area. So that's where the warm-up area is going to be. You show up at least 30 minutes before your time that you sign up, right? So if you sign up at the 6 p.m. wave, well, you got to show up here at least like the max 5:30 so that you can go through the whiteboard by yourself to go through the general warm-up, the mobility, the specific prep, and get ready to be on the floor at 6 o'clock, ready to go. All right. And we will be starting the timer whether you're there or not. All right. Because we do need to get the night flowing here. All right. So you come in at least 30 minutes. You can come in like an hour before. Sometimes people like to come in 2 hours before, cheer for people, go do their warm up like 45 minutes after, and then they do their workout and then they stay after. All right. So the way the waves goes, you sign up for a wave all throughout the night. And then guess what? The best part, the coaches go in the final wave. So if you stick around, there's going to be a fan zone. So if some of you guys want to bring your friends, if some of you guys want to bring your family members, I know like Judy has brought her husband and her kids before. I know Cassina has brought her husband and her daughter before. I know other people have brought like boyfriends or husbands and wives just to kind of see, and kids just to see like what this is about. And you can kind of see behind Daphne that little fan zone behind. So there's going to be benches and boxes, and you can hang out after your workout. You could hang out before your workout and just cheer for the athletes as they go. And then the coaches go in the final wave where the entire community kind of just yells at us as we get through this workout here. All right. We get to yell at you guys all year long, and this is your opportunity for you guys to yell at us to go faster. Okay. The other thing is there's going to be some cool sponsors. All right. We have 3 sponsors lined up for you guys. So I want to provide stuff for you guys to have fun here. All right. Free shit. All right. So Shop Santé is going to be the sponsor for the very first workout. All right. Meaning they're going to be here and they're going to be giving out samples to you guys. So if you guys want pre-workouts, if you guys want like BCAAs, if you guys want protein after your workout, they're going to be here giving out a whole bunch of free stuff for you guys. All right. So that's going to be for the first Friday night. All right. Endura Physio. So if you guys are here at the 5 p.m. tonight, Olivier, or Ollie for short, he is the owner of Endura Physio, which is a physio clinic literally like 200 meters away from our gym here. And they are going to have a table on all 3 of the workouts. So if you need any sort of like maintenance on your body, if you guys have any stiff areas, whether you need something before the workout or you need something after the workout, they're going to be there giving free treatments, like 5, 10 minute treatments for free for you guys. And they're going to be there for the entire 3 workouts. All right. And then we also have Fit Bites, which is a friend of mine, and she's creating these really cool like energy protein balls, and they are freaking delicious. She came in this week. She's starting her newer company here. She came in this week to give me some samples, and team, they were delicious. They were so good. So on the 3rd workout, she's going to be here with a little booth, and she's going to be giving out some free samples, and she'll be selling some stuff as well. So if you want to walk out of here with a box of them, you can purchase from her. But she's going to be there giving you guys a little bit of a treat after the 3rd workout. All right. Now, last thing for this, I think, last thing here is if you cannot make it to the Friday Night Lights, okay, the 6 a.m., 9 a.m., and the 12 p.m. class of the day will also be the open workout. And we're going to run those classes exactly how we normally would, except it takes a little bit more finessing because you do need a judge, which I'm going to get to in the next slide here. But for whatever reason, if you cannot make it on Friday nights, you can still come at 6 a.m., 9 a.m., or 12 p.m. The coach will be here and we will get you set up for the open. Okay, so you can do it officially. And if you cannot make it, guys, for whatever reason, you're traveling, you're on a vacation, you got really, really sick here, like I said earlier, you have until Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern time to complete the workout, submit it online. All right. So, what that means is for whatever reason, you can't make it on the Friday and you can make it on the Saturday. This is very like special case. I'm not pushing this out to the community, but as a last resort, if you cannot make it at all on Friday, not because you don't want to, but because you physically cannot, write to us and we'll figure out what other time throughout the weekend that you can come in. We'll have a judge with you, and then we'll get you to do the workout. Okay. So a lot of people are like, but I can't make it on Friday, or I can't make it on one of the 3 Fridays. Well, don't stress. We can do it either on the Thursday night, we could do it on the Saturday morning, Sunday morning, or even or any time throughout the Monday you're available. Okay. And again, this is really like emergency case only. This is not something that you can just like voluntarily do just because you didn't feel like coming on Friday night. Okay. Especially because we're going to be volunteering our time on our weekend to do that for you. Okay. So here, the judging element here. Okay. I love this photo of Lawrence and Max. Max is training for the Ironman. So he's a little bit MIA and he's not going to be doing the open this year, which I'm very sad about, but he'll be back in the gym soon. Okay. But this photo of Lawrence is hilarious. This guy's ready to do the open. So judging, what is a judge? Okay. Now, judging is volunteer, all right? Anyone who is signed up to the open can be a judge, all right? And what the judge is there for is to make sure it's fair play. At the end of the day, we are doing this workout or these 3 workouts alongside 3 to 400,000 people worldwide. So you want the movement quality to be universal, and you want to make sure that everyone is moving the same way. For example, it wouldn't be fair if someone was doing a half wall ball, right? Meaning they weren't squatting all the way down and they weren't throwing the ball to the target, while you are squatting your ass low, getting below parallel, and then taking the energy it takes to throw that ball all the way up to the target to hit that line, right? And it wouldn't be fair if that person said, oh, well, I did the workout 4 minutes faster than you. Well, it's because you cheated your reps a little bit, right? So what the judge is there to make sure that you are doing your reps properly and that you're holding the movement standards across the board here. All right. You're also there to count the repetitions for the athletes, right? Sometimes you push past an intensity and you're not really thinking about how many reps you did or how many rounds you have left to do, right? So the judge is there to help guide you along this process here. All right. So they hold you to a fair play. They make sure your movement standards are good, and then they count your reps for you, which is also a pro. All right. It can be a little bit stressful for the judge sometimes, right? But it is a cool moment. There is a bonding connection as well where you have that person like cheering you on. One of my favorite things about the open is seeing like you guys walk around and be like, hey, like, can you judge me? It's kind of like asking like someone at, to prom or something. It's like, hey, do you mind judging me for for this open workout? So it's a fun moment. Just like don't be shy, ask people around. But anyone who is signed up for the open can be a judge. Now, you don't have to do the judge's course. You can literally just judge the person. And it's my job as the affiliate owner to make sure that all of you guys understand the movement standards, right? Not just from an athlete perspective, but also from a judging perspective. But there is a judge's course online. I think it might be $10. If anyone is interested in this, you can go on CrossFit.com, go on online courses, and just scroll down to judges course. I literally think it's $10, and it might take you maybe an hour to 2 hours to go through. And it's a really cool online course, and it just like breaks down all of the movements, whether you want to judge or not. It's a pretty cool course that just helps you understand better movement quality. So even for your own education, it's a pretty cool course. And yeah, I would highly encourage it. But again, you don't have to do that. All right. You don't have to take the time. You don't have to pay the $10. You don't have to do any of that. All right. But it is very cool that we are holding this universal standard for movement quality. All right. So the open magic. All right. This is the last thing I'm going to talk about for the evening here. All right. What is the open magic? Maybe you've heard I've spoken about it in classes. Maybe you've heard the other coaches speak about it in the class. The open magic is something that happens to every single person every single year here. Okay. And I love this photo that I put on because this was a very powerful moment for Susie last year. She was trying so freaking hard to get her bar muscle up. And in the open, towards the end of the workout, she was right there trying to get her muscle up, trying to get a muscle up. Everyone's yelling at her. There's behind this photo, there's a massive crowd, like literally along the storage unit in the fan zone area. There's like 30 people just yelling at Susie and yelling at us to do this workout. And she got up there and did her very first bar muscle up. All right. So this is a very high skill movement, but I promise you, you will do something in the open that you never thought you could. Whether that is just completing a workout that you thought would be hard and you actually did complete it, whether that's you lifting a 35-pound dumbbell for the first time and then doing it for 50 repetitions, right? Whether that's you doing your very first toes to bar, whether that's you getting your very first double under, the open has this incredible magic behind it. And I promise you that if you sign up, you will experience this in one way or many ways here. All right. So this is kind of a cool thing that we talk about, but that open magic is just kind of the cheering from the crowd, believing in yourself to do something challenging, and just kind of like the inspiration from athletes around you, right? And I've been doing this. This is gonna be my 13th CrossFit Open. I've been doing this for a long time, and every year I get so much inspiration, not from the athlete that's like the highest level, it's not from the people who are doing 40 muscle ups. I mean, that is so impressive. I'm like, holy crap, like this person's doing so much movement. Like, I wish I could go that fast or do those movements. But usually it typically comes from the person who got like their very first double under, the person who got like their very first toes to bar, and then they string five toes or they do one toes to bar 5 times. And I'm like, that shit gets me inspired. And this is what the open magic is about. It's about seeing someone break that comfort level, getting uncomfortable, and then doing something that they never thought they could before. Right. So this is what the open magic is. And I promise you guys, if you do sign up for the open, you will feel this in some way or another. All right. So I want to hear from you guys. All right. Got this awesome photo of Julie here. All right. So if there's anyone, comment in the box here. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing this for now. All right. If there's anybody that would like to share their story, I would strongly encourage a comment now. Maybe Judy, you have something from your open experience. We have an awesome photo of you just lying on the ground from last year.
All right, I remember that now. Thanks for reminding me.
Tell me one moment from your open last year.
Um, I remember I was really struggling for the pull-ups. Yeah, I was standing on the box. I feel like it's a super, super long time. Like I was standing there, like I saw everybody already down the box and do other movements. I was just standing there.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
and then did you get was it a jumping pull up you were trying to get? A jumping chest to bar?
I think I got a few.
Sweet.
Yeah, and then Natalie, she was freaking out. She was one taking the scores.
Okay.
She's like, Judy, just get your chin to the bar. Just do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
she was more nervous than me. But
okay.
I because I signed up. I got in gym like around like October.
Yeah.
Then half in a year, I signed up the open. So it was quite new for me. I didn't know what
Hmm.
to do by that time.
Yeah, so very similar timelines to me. You joined in like October area, did the open in February.
Yeah.
Were you, I don't remember having to like really push you to sign up for the open that much. Did you have like a big push to sign up or were
No,
you like, okay, I'm just gonna do this?
no, you pushed me.
Was it a big push or was it like a one
Yeah,
conversation thing?
you pushed me, and Siobhan, she was like a really, really like
Oh,
she
yes, I
tagged
remember.
me over and over and say, "Are you gonna do it? You're gonna do it?" I said, "Okay, I gotta do it." I was very hesitated. I didn't know what was going on. It was quite like I tried to stay back a little bit. Yeah, I don't want to be like because I didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's why all the snatches I was just like, okay, whatever. I can
Yeah.
do it. Yeah. Sorry, I had to answer the door.
Yeah, no problem. That was I remember that. And you know what? Funny enough, Judy, Siobhan hasn't signed up yet for the open, so she needs you to start messaging her to sign up for the open here. All right. Anyone else? J Dubs, I know you're cooking, man. Is there like a fun story? I feel like we have so many fun stories together, of you doing the early stages of the open. It didn't take long for Coach J Dubs to overcome me in the open ranking. Let's see if he gets on here. What about you, Cassina? Do you have a fun story that you would like to showcase for a quick moment here? All right, Coach Jay is trying to figure out the mic. He's coming on here in a second. And then maybe Cassina after we can get one from you.
Okay.
Oh, Cassina,
Hi.
you want to share it now? Okay, Justin will figure out his mic situation. You tell us a little story from your open.
Yeah. Well, just like you, I started like in November and it went to February and I was not even think about it. I said, no way. I was doing only 2 times per week. I said, no way, my level is so just before, so on Thursday, having a discussion with one of the coaches, and she said, come on, just I said, are you kidding me? I'm not capable of this. And I remember I was training myself with a dumbbell of 15 back then. And the release of the workout for the scale, it was 20 pounds for the snatches. And I remember going to the gym in the morning and just taking the dumbbell of 20 and say, I don't think I can do a snatch with 20. And I did it. And I did a full, and I did and I push hard. And I remember at some point, I believe everyone has that. At some point, you think you're gonna die during the workout, and you literally think you're gonna die. And I remember Eli, it was my judge, and I remember his voice when he yelled, "Casina, get up, get up." I will never forget that moment. I was dead. And
Heck
he
yeah.
said, get up. get up. And I am back again in the game. And that was an awesome moment.
Thank you.
And yeah,
Thank you for sharing that.
you're welcome.
That's freaking awesome. I mean, this happens all the time where someone doesn't really know their potential. Someone, is hesitant. They're used to the 10, 15 pound dumbbell. They're like, oh my God, I got to do the 20-pound dumbbell. And then you do the 20-pound dumbbell. And then not only do you do it one time, but you did it, I don't know how many times, 50, 60, 80 reps,
Mm,
right, with it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you just have that one
Yeah.
judge being like, hey, you can do it. One more rep. You can do it. One
Oh my
more
God.
rep. It's cool.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing, Cassina. J Dubs,
Thank you.
you got your mic set up here.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah, brother.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the Opens it's definitely got some memories tied to it. Um I think I did my first Open 3 weeks after joining CrossFit, which was interesting in itself. I knew what it was, but I didn't think it was the classic I'm not ready to do it. And that Open, it didn't go the way I would have obviously wanted it to go, but I wasn't at that level yet. But I was happy I did it because it how you look back on it now, and it's it's in the past, and it's like lets me allows me to tell this story, if anything, of doing a specific workout that had double unders and cleans. Toes to bar, for some reason, I was okay right away. That was fine. But double unders were my nemesis for the longest time. Brandon knows this. And cleans, I believe, were at 135 pounds.
Yeah.
And Brandon was my judge. And he sat there as I tried and tried and tried. And I was failing some cleans at 135, which looking back now seems crazy. But the growth that you get from that, like you never want to be stuck there again. Or like the one time I did get a double under, I was like super pumped, even though I missed 40 other times.
Yep.
So yeah, that's the first one, and then the second Open was the year after, and then that went way better. I got my first bar muscle up in that Open, which happened like that night, like same as Susie last year. So those moments are super fun, and then since then, Brandon and I have been able to duke it out as coaches or as competitors, whatever it is. Always friendly, but always fun.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't think since the second open I've really beat you in many of them.
You got me. What do you mean? You got me last year.
Oh, it's true. I think I got my first one on you in like
It
10
was
years
uh,
last
it
year.
was it was it was a workout written for Brandon. It was rowing, deadlifts, and double unders.
Hell yeah. Let's take that workout again. I would love a redo on that.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right, brother. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate it. Lots of good stuff, guys. Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Cassina. Thanks, Justin, for coming on and sharing that. Um, yeah, lots of cool stuff, guys. Let me wrap up this slideshow here. You guys can all see the screen right now. Solid. Okay. So the open is a special moment, guys. All right. It happens once a year. And if you guys don't feel my energy right now, um, I don't know what to tell you because this is a very special moment, team. All right. Um, here's the thing. The world is not a healthy place. The average person is not healthy right now. And what we're doing as CrossFit affiliates, what we're doing as coaches is we're trying to make the world a healthier place. We're trying to help people understand that exercise and training is meant to be fun, that eating healthy food is meant to be enjoyable, that sharing a community and being around people that want you to be better is the place that you want to be, right? And there is something that makes CrossFitters special, right? And that's the feeling you get when you walk in, hopefully through our doors. That's the feeling you get when you see your 5 p.m. buddy or your 6 a.m. Training partner, right? Especially even at 6 a.m. when you're walking in a little bit groggy, like you rolled out of bed. And some of the most cheerful people are actually at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is kind of ironic. But when you see that person signed up for a class on Wodify and then you click the reserve button because you're excited to work out with them, right? The Open is a special moment where hundreds of thousands of CrossFitters around the world come together not to compete and not to do better than anyone else, but we come together to showcase that, hey, we're CrossFitters. We are doing something extremely special in the world. We're trying to have an impact not on ourselves, but a lot of us are trying to have an impact on our families, our kids, our parents, our colleagues, our partners, right? So there is something special to say about this one moment, or I guess these three moments that happen throughout this year. Right. So I say CrossFitters are special. CrossFit Maxers are even more special because you guys are freaking killing it. What I get to see as an affiliate owner every single day is remarkable. It's very, very inspirational. And I wish I could just like record. Like, I wish I just had like those freaking AI glasses. And I was like, can I just click record right now and just showcase the conversations or showcase the moments that I have with you guys on a daily basis and just push that out to the world. Right. And like when I have people coming in and doing free trials, I'm like, man, I wish I could just show them everything that I've seen over the last 13 years in about 30 seconds and just show them that, hey, if you continue down this journey, you're gonna be rewarded with an incredible results of hard work, dedication, determination. You're gonna have a better support system than when you walked out of here, right? You're gonna have a coach that cares sometimes more about you than you care about yourself, right? So it is something really, really remarkable that happens during this time. And then the last thing I'd like to leave you guys with is do something hard for yourself. I don't claim that signing up for the open is easy, right? Signing up for the open is not something that's easy. Like I said, this will be my 13th CrossFit Open. And just to give you guys the number here, for about 10 of those years, there was 5 CrossFit Open workouts each year. And then for the last 5 years, there's been three. All right. So we are looking at about, if my math is correct, 65 open workouts that I've done in my life. And I'm about to do my 66th or somewhere around there. And every single open workout, I get butterflies, I get nerves, I get stressed, right? And this is okay. This is what we call good stress. This is signing up for something and doing something hard and overcoming the stresses, overcoming the fears, overcoming the self doubt that you might have, whether I can do an open workout or I can lift this dumbbell or this barbell or do this gymnastic movement, right? So do something hard for yourself. On the other end of it, you will feel an indescribable sensation of proudness, right? And I've tried my best to describe that feeling throughout this presentation, but really it is something that is really hard to describe. And it is this internal feeling that you will feel super confident and super proud that you participated in. And this is why people do it year after year. So I hope that you guys are ready to sign up. Here's an awesome photo from last year with Cassina, Bianca, and her husband. All right. So, I mean, these little cool moments, these little snippets of doing the workout and seeing the fan zone, seeing the people cheer for each other, seeing the daughter look up to her mother, who is hopefully never going to feel scared to walk into a CrossFit gym, because walking into a CrossFit gym or any gym is super stressful. And you guys might think, well, he owns a gym, so he doesn't know what that's like. But even when I travel, I'll go into gyms, I'll do drop-ins at CrossFit affiliates, and I feel those butterflies. I feel those nerves, right? I know exactly what it's like. I like to put myself in those situations of feeling new in certain things, right? So this moment right here with Cassina, her daughter is like looking up to her mother and she sees her mom focusing on her health and stuff. And like you can see like this is a cool moment to have captured. All right. So hopefully you guys are feeling ready to sign up. If you guys do have any questions at all, please let me know in the chat box right now. I'll try to answer them as best I can. Any questions whatsoever, maybe things that I didn't cover. But the open starts on February 26th, and we will be doing our very first Friday Night Lights on February 27th. All right, so let's freaking go. Hopefully, you guys are feeling pumped. I'm feeling even more pumped after doing this doing this presentation. Again, Kessina says she is already in the gym. Hell yeah, Bianca's doing the kids' classes, crushing it on Sundays. Richard Morris, thank goodness I'm not alone with the double unders or the double understanding, the double unders being my nemesis. So I think he was referring to Justin's story from earlier here. But if you guys have any questions at all, please let me know in the comments. Any questions, maybe something I didn't cover on Friday nights. Maybe Justin, if you maybe caught something that maybe you want to cover that maybe I didn't. No.
No, you covered pretty much everything, but the one thing I would say is that if you know anyone who's on the fence, is worried about having like the whole gym staring at them as like you work out, I would suggest kind of just trying to buddy up instead of, going up like two, three people and just kind of berating them, being like, sign up to the open, sign up to the open. Get an open buddy. Find an open buddy, be like, I'll judge you, you judge me. Make it just like you two. You're still part of the community, but like you just need to get your foot in the door. So if you know someone like that who you do classes with at 4, 5, 6, 9, whatever time it is, and you work out with them all the time, then just make it a regular workout just to get them through the door on that Friday, and then judge them. You'll be there with them like every step of the way, and then that makes it more enjoyable for everyone.
Hell yeah. Love that. All right, guys. So I didn't see any questions pop up. I hope you guys enjoyed this first community hall. Like I said, we're gonna be doing these maybe a few times a year, like maybe once every month, once every few weeks, something like that. Be a different topic every single time. But this one had to be about the open. The first one had to be about the open. All right. Um, Val says knowing everyone will be watching is intimidating. For sure, there's like an intimidating factor of knowing people are watching you, but people aren't watching you. People are encouraging you. People are cheering you on, right? People are not, I mean, you have a judge, but even the judge is not really judging you, if you know what I mean. The judge is there to make sure you're moving well and counting. But I promise you, like Cassina shared that story with Eli judging her and just being like, hey, come on, one more rep. You got this. Like, you can do this. Like, believe in yourself. Like one more, like those moments are powerful for sure. And for sure, like there is an understanding, Val, that having people around could be intimidating, but again, let those people lift you up. You freaking got this. Believe in yourself. Let the others pull you up. And I'm excited, Val, that you're signed up. I'm super pumped about your journey over the last few months now. I think you said you're on month 7 now. Um, so you've been absolutely crushing it, and to be signing up for the Open is pretty freaking cool right now. So we're proud of you. We're excited for you. And Judy, say hi to all the kids for us. What's up, kiddos?
Hi. Say hi,
Hello.
Brendan.
Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate you guys hanging out on this Friday evening, and I'll see you
Yeah.
guys over the weekend. I'll see you guys signed up for the Open. Make sure you get signed up if you haven't yet. The last thing I'll actually say is that there is a participation leaderboard. Okay, so what that means is that every country has a participation of the affiliates, right? So how many members at each affiliate are signed up, right? And I showed that in our community chat, and like we are sitting at just under 50 right now, guys. We're sitting at just under 50. I would love to get towards the 80 mark at the over the next 2 weeks. All right, we're about 130-ish members in the gym, 140 members. I would love to get to 80, but we can't get to 80 without you guys signing up. All right, and that means literally you listening right now. Whether it's recorded or you're with me in the Zoom chat right now, we need you to be signed up in order to get that participation leaderboard. My goal as an affiliate is to eventually be the top 5 in Canada. All right. And just to give you an idea right now, the 5th best with participation for open signups in Canada has like 82 signups. Right. So I know that there's a solid 20 people that are kind of waiting to sign up for the open, but this is a really powerful moment that CrossFit Max people represent CrossFit Max, showcase that like we're strong together and that we're unified and that we're going to be doing this thing all together here. So make sure you guys get signed up. I appreciate you again for coming out and listening tonight, and we'll catch you guys soon. All right. Have a good night, folks.
Say bye.